Hello everyone, thanks for watching Edupedia World videos. I am Neeti Saxena and I am teaching you the subject Principles and Practices of Management. This is the part 6 of module 2 and we would be covering the modern theory. In the previous videos, we've covered the classical theory and the human relation approach to management. When we talk about the modern theory, these are the theories which emerged in the late 90s and have transformed the way managers look at different situations and they handle different situations in the organization. The different management theories that we would be covering are quantitative management, system theory, and contingency theory. Quantitative management approach came after the World War II, wherein the managers they looked into different science like mathematics, physics, and they'll use these techniques to solve certain managerial problems. The quantitative approach to management involves the use of quantitative techniques such as statistics, information models, and computer simulations to improve decision making. When we talk about computer simulation, the word simulation has come from something artificial. For example, when a pilot wants to know how to fly, of course, he cannot be given a real aircraft. He learns it on an artificial aircraft, and once he learns, he is asked to fly the real one. So similarly, there were certain computer simulation exercises through which the managers were able to understand the projects, understand the situations, and then they were able to apply the same situation in the real times. So as the science evolved, so also these techniques started helping managers to solve certain problems in the organization. For example, when we talk about statistics, there are certain tools in statistics like regression, correlation, time series analysis through which the managers were able to forecast how things would go in the future. So like mathematical forecasting help making projections that are useful in the planning process. When we talk about projections, this is something that you anticipate what is going to happen in future. Inventory modeling helps control inventories by mathematically establishing how and when to order a product. Inventory modeling helps you in understanding what kind of inventory would you be requiring in future. Maybe in the past 1 week you required 100 units of input. So similarly, if you have to increase your productivity, or you have to increase the amount of production that is happening in your organization, then of course you will have to increase the 100 units to maybe 150 or 180 depending upon how much you need to manufacture. So this inventory modeling and mathematical forecasting is of course something which is related to statistics and physics. Queuing theory again is part of statistics which helps allocate service personnel or workstations to minimize customer waiting and service cost. Like the queuing theory help managers to know how much of time would be requiring in manufacturing a particular product. So these are certain management principles or management tools which are based on statistics, physics, and other sciences, which helps managers take decisions related to production, related to inventory management, related to planning. For example, if somebody has to forecast that how many people would they be requiring in the organization in the future, so depending upon whatever the workload people have as of now, they can project it for the future. So this is something which was related to quantitative management theory. The next theory comes into picture is the system approach, which was given by Ludwig. And he said, in order to understand an organized whole, we must know both the parts as well as relations between them. Organized whole is a complete organization that we are talking about. An organization is made up of different parts or different departments. These departments could be marketing, sales, operations, HR, finance, accounts. So he said that in order to understand the entire organization, it is very important to understand these small little parts as well as the relation between them. For example, there is a very strong relation between two departments which are marketing and sales. There is a strong relation between finance and accounts. Of course, there is a strong relation of HR with all these departments because, of course, HR is the one who will be supplying people to every department. So it is important to understand these subunits or departments and also how these departments are related to each other. This is something which was suggested by the systems theory. According to Ludwig, he said a system is an interrelated set of elements functioning as a whole. It has subsystems which have synergy between them. Subsystems, for example, if you talk about the HR department has further sub units a training department, in maybe a recruitment department, maybe an employee engagement sub department, and these departments of course are interrelated. He also said that systems can be of two types: open system and a closed system. The only difference between open system and closed system is that an open system is ready to take feedback from the external environment, whereas a closed system is not ready to take feedback, it is not ready to adapt according to the situations. So he suggested that every organization should be an open system. See, it is written, an open system actively interacts with its environment. By interacting with other system, it tries to establish exchange relationships. For example, if an organization is very, very open to take feedback from the customers, then of course the organization would be ready to adapt according to the changing customer needs. Whereas a closed system is self-contained and isolated from the environment, it is non-adaptive, it does not receive inputs from other system, and does not trade with the outside world. This is a diagram which shows what an open system is. See, inputs are raw material, human resource, capital, technology, which is being transformed by the human and technological operations into outputs. The outputs are of course production and service, financial results, human results, and information. And the output of course should be giving a feedback to the input. In case if this feedback part is missing, then this diagram could be used to show a closed system view of an organization. But the moment we say that the organization is taking a feedback from the output, then this becomes an open system view of an organization, which is very important in today's world. Because of globalization, there are a lot of changes coming in the customer needs, in the customer preferences, in the changing technology, changing business environment. So the organization should be ready to adapt itself according to the changing business environment. Contributions of the system approach to management was that under system approach, managers have a good view of the organization. Why good view? Because they take a 360-degree view of the organization. They know themselves what the organization is. They also take inputs from the employees. They also take inputs from the customers. And through that, they are able to come up with the best of the product, which can, of course, help them raising the profitability of the organization. It gives importance to interdependence of the different parts of an organization and its environment. The third theory which was given is called as the contingency theory. The contingency word is something which is related to situation, which is dynamic. According to this theory, there is no best way of managing or controlling your employees. Every organization is different. Every organization goes through different situations. The best way to manage your employees, or the best way to look at particular situation, is something which is situational. The manager has to take a decision according to the situation which he or she is facing. See, it emphasizes that there is no best way to manage. It is an it all depends approach. All depends on what? All depends on the situation. The appropriate management actions and approaches depend on the situation. Managers with a contingency view use a flexible approach, draw on a variety of theories and experiences, and evaluate many options as they solve problems. So contingency theory says that manager cannot follow one particular way of working. For example, if you have to control people who are working in hospitality industry and people who are maybe working in a manufacturing unit, you cannot control the people in the same way, or you cannot deal with the situations in the same way. Hospitality industry might be expecting manager to have different expertise, wherein people who are into manufacturing industry definitely need to think in a different manner. They might be using many statistical tools to look into how to manage inventory. So everything is situational. It tries to identify the best technique that will be effective in a particular situation at a particular time. So whenever you're solving a problem, you have a lot of different ideas through which you can solve that particular problem. Once you generate the ideas, once you generate the solution to problem, whichever is the best solution, you can implement that. So this is the same, that contingency management recognizes that there is no one best way to manage. It all depends upon the judgment and experience of the manager in a given organizational environment. The contingency approach also said that there are certain contingency variables which the manager has to look into while taking a decision. What are these contingency variables? The organization size, routineness of task technology, how much routine your task is, environmental uncertainty. You will find that certain industries do not have a lot of environmental uncertainty. For example, when we talk about, let's say, schools. So schools do not have a lot of environmental uncertainty. School will function the way they function. Then not many factors or variables in the external environment which would impact the working of a school. But when we talk about, let's say, export-import industry, There are a lot of changes that comes. Why? Because this industry is affected with a lot of political and legal barriers introduced by the host nation or the home country, by maybe the trade blocs. So there are many things which differ from industry to industry, and also the individual differences. People working in your organization might be different. Even the manager's perspective to the problems would be different. So he said that manager should look into all these contingency variables, and accordingly he has to take the decision. The contingency, this particular diagram is a diagram which is comparing two theories: case view or the contingency view, whereas every situation is unique. Whereas the universalistic view says that there is one best way, whatever the best way, that should be implemented in every organization. Contingency view says organization phenomenon exist in logic patterns. Managers devise and imply similar responses to common types of problems. So contingency view is a combination of case view as well as universalistic view. Contingency view says that every situation is different, and according to the situation, solutions should be generated and they should be implemented. But in case if there are two situations which were similar and a suggestion was implemented in the previous problem, then the same suggestion or same solution can be implemented in the second problem also, because both the problems are similar. There is a relationship between system and contingency approach. Contingency management school has definitely emerged from system management school, which says that an organization is made of systems. But then the contingency approach says that the system approach may specify situations under which an organization can function, whereas the contingency approach can specify the process by which the organization may try to adapt to its environment. So both the theories are very, very important and are interlinked. Why? Because contingency theory is also based on systems approach. It says that of course an organization is made of systems, but then how the system has to function depends upon the situation and depends upon the knowledge and perspective of a manager, and the manager should definitely take a decision which is the most viable according to that particular situation. So this is again a diagram which is telling you the different theories, how and when they emerged. We've covered in my different videos of module 2, we've covered classical, humanistic perspective, management science perspective, system and contingency view, how these theories and when they evolved. We've already discussed that. Thank you so much for watching these videos, and I hope that by the end of this video you've been able to understand what classical theory and behavioral science theory and modern theory were all about. Thank you so much once again.